Hello, welcome to another video in this Ruby on Rails Airbnb series. In this particular video, we will integrate the Tailwind CSS. In the last video, we understood how the controllers, routes, and views work, the basics of it basically. I'll just scroll this down out of a screen. Let's open our terminal. If your server is not running right now, just use Rails S. S stands for server here. And you can visit localhost 3000, refresh, and yeah, first of all, this was just for testing. Hello world, we need only hello world, we don't need Rajat here. So I just go to my code, home controller, and remove this line. We don't need this, it was just for testing purposes. And in views, home, index, we don't need this. Again refresh, it's working. Now let's integrate Tailwind CSS. So actually there are two ways of integrating it, but first one we won't be able to do now. Rails guide. Let's have a look in this. There was MVC, create, adding a second model, refactoring, deleting, security, no, hello world, this, okay. Okay, Ruby on Rails guide Tailwind CSS. Okay, I'm unable to find the correct link. Let's have a look at dev.to. I used to work here, dev.to, and it's a great company to work at. These guys are really wonderful. Okay, so even this demo doesn't have Tailwind CSS integrated directly. They are using Rails new, then the project name -d PostgreSQL. Nope. Okay, no worries. Let's not go in depth of it. If I remember this correctly, let me type it here. The command for integrating Tailwind when you are creating the project directly, it was Rails, then the new command for creating the new project, XYZ project. Don't do this step right now, we don't need this. I'm just explaining you. XYZ project, then we wrote -d for not adding the test cases, -d PostgreSQL for mentioning that default database is PostgreSQL, and then I think --CSS Tailwind. I'm just not fully sure, but I remember seeing it in one of the Rails guide. Anyways, as we are not doing that right now, it's fine for now. But if you see it somewhere, don't get confused about that. Let's go to Tailwind CSS. Sorry, docs. Let's have a look at Ruby on Rails. Yeah. So in this, it does mention the 6 steps. Let's have a look at first one. It mentions creating the new project. We have already done that. Going to your project, we have already done that. Bundle, add Tailwind CSS Rails. Let's do that. Okay, bin/bundle add Tailwind CSS Rails. Okay, we have added this. Let's see the changes because of this. I'll just go to my code. These are the changes that I have made. Anything else? Nope. Okay, in gem file this was added. Obviously, as mentioned, we want this in alphabetical order. What's next? Rails Tailwind install. bin/Rails or directly Rails Tailwind CSS install. I think we can use bundle install also. This is a bit specific, but a bundle install generally installs all the gems. Let's clear this. Again, go to our project. There is one new file, then there are configs. Okay, Tailwind config. So from this I can say that the Tailwind library is in our code now. Yeah, we can see this. There are changes also. Let's refresh this. Asset not found in home index. Okay, because we haven't followed all the steps yet. Bin Rails fine. Then there is configuration path. This. Okay, let's go to config tailwind config.js. All these are mentioned. The plugin file. Okay, fine. In application Tailwind CSS, which is part of app assets, let's copy these things. Yep, it already exists. Then we will have to use bin dev. Now this is where things get interesting. So earlier we were using a Rails server. This will only run the Rails server basically. Like all the changes related to Rails will get sort of noticed at that. But if we want to compile our Tailwind also, we will have to use bin/dev. So let's run this, rerun, and we can see there is the UI has completely changed because it is using Tailwind. Let's inspect this. Let me shift this side, and we can see container, MX Auto, MT28. These are all Tailwind classes. If you are aware of CSS, this basically means MT28 basically means margin top 28 multiplied by 4 pixels. PX5 is padding XY side 520px basically. So these are all Tailwind classes which we'll go through when we are working on it. But yeah, and I already assume that you can navigate to Tailwind on your own. Let's close this and let's make a couple of changes to this. Okay, here. Okay, so if we remove this yield from here, remove the main container, again we are pasting it this yield here, we can see that there is no change. So this was the original code here. Now let's refresh and we can see that it has changed here. Great. So what this yield does is that it will output other UI elements for us. In this case, we have home index file for us, this particular element. So let's make changes to this to understand if it works. So I'm using one of the Tailwind classes, which is underline, and it is visible, which means that Tailwind integration is successful. So yeah, that's great. I think I would end this here to keep it short. So that's it. And I'll just make a commit here. Get status. We are in main branch. Get checkout. This is part 5. Part 05. Tailwind CSS integration. Great. Get status. Get add. Get commit. This is sort of a feature, not a full-fledged feature, but still it's not just UI part. Or we can mention design. Actually it's fine. Design. Whenever I am working only in UI part, I think I will mention design. Tailwind CSS integration. Get push origin. Okay, so I've pushed this separate branch. Let's check out to main and get merge origin this. Get push origin main. That's it. From next videos, I might not integrate this entire GitHub related thing, just to save 1 or 2 minutes on each and every video. That's it. Subscribe to these videos, and if you have any queries, feel free to reach out. You can check the description below. And at the same time, if you want me to create any other courses like Android, iOS, front-end related stuff, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, stack, anything else, do let me know and I'll try to work on that. That's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.